Hey y'all, welcome to the mid-June episode of In Full Bloom. I think you may find that this is an interesting episode and that we have a lot more shrubs that are flowering and blooming out this time of year instead of so many perennials, even though we do have a few perennials that are joining us for this episode. If you're interested in seeing what would be blooming about mid-June in Zone 8B, I hope you would follow along. I do these videos in order to help you see what's blooming in my yard, some maybe more mature plants would look like in bloom and for how long they bloom. If you'll stay tuned to the end, you'll see some of the plants that are still in bloom that have made an appearance in earlier episodes. So what I do as soon as they come into flower or bloom, I go ahead and give you the information about them, and then I follow up each and every episode that comes out twice a month, showing you what's still in bloom. So I hope that you enjoy this content and will follow along. And this is Kaleidoscope Abelia, and I'm really hoping that these plants stay in about the 3-foot range because I'd like for them not to peep up much taller than this knee wall here. And as you can see, the little bee is enjoying all of these beautiful white flowers. I love this Abelia, and there's a couple of them that have this multiple seasons of interest. The new growth with a nice orange peachy color to it, then it has a variegation on it, and now come summer it's got these beautiful white flowers that should stay in bloom the rest of the summertime, and then it'll have great fall color that's a orange color as well. This is Pearl Glam Beauty Berry by Proven Winners. The Beauty Berry plant is native here in Georgia, but Proven Winners has taken this cultivar and caused it to have dark leaves instead of bright green. And that's the reason why I chose it. In the fall, these flowers will turn into bright purpley fuchsia berries all over it. It's also supposed to be a good mosquito repellent. I don't know that I've experienced that so much, but it has these little dainty little flowers on it here in June, mid-June. And they cover the plant. I have two of these plants. This one is new for this year, but the other one we've had in the ground for 2 years, and the berries weren't that large in size. They were about the size, maybe a little bit bigger than the flowers that I just showed you. But as you can see, the pollinators like it as well. All right, here's our other beauty berry. It doesn't look quite as hardy, definitely with the flowers, as much as our other one does, even though it's newer. But this one was put in as a quart, whereas our newer one that I just showed you was put in as a 2 or 3 gallon. And for whatever reason, the leaves aren't quite as dark on this one either, if you can tell. I wouldn't say that it's any darker than this coneflower leaf that's beside it. This is Summerific Lilac Crush hibiscus from Proven Winners. It gets 5.5 feet tall by 4.5 feet wide. They have 2 shapes in their perennial hibiscus. They have a gumdrop shape, which is equally wide or maybe even a little bit more wide than tall. And then they have like this lilac crush, which is a vase shape where it is more tall than it is wide. So it's could possibly get to 5.5 feet tall by 4.5 feet wide is what they have on their website. And we picked this hibiscus to put here because we have our AC drainage, and so it's a super wet area, and hibiscus, they love damp areas. They do also love full sun, and it's not getting quite enough sun, so we have a little bit of problems with it flopping sometimes, but I think, like I said, it's just because it doesn't get quite enough sun. The blooms do last only for a day, and this one has just come into bloom. And if you'll check in, I will update y'all on this plant because it will be covered in blooms. So you can see here is a new bloom. This one right here will actually probably bloom out tomorrow. Of course, this is today's bloom. And then these over here are all the future buds for future blooms. But as you can see, this is the big dinner plate size blooms, which are very eye-catching. People always are amazed when they see it. Again, here's a perspective of my hand. And of course, as you've seen, the pollinators love it. Bees and moths and all kinds of pollinators. And this one does have some problems with some not so nice guys. We had one earlier on in the season in which I thought we were probably going to lose the plant. It did deform some of the leaves here. If you can see that, they've come out not quite right. So these are nice healthy leaves, and then these are some of the deformed leaves. So we'll see what happens with all of that. I'm just glad that it seems to be healthy enough to put out strong stems and blooms that look beautiful. This plant is new to Proven Winners this year. It's actually put out by Darwin Perennials. It's called Summerlong Magenta Agastache, or as some people say it, Agastache. And this is a dwarf variety. It gets only 12 to 14 inches tall, about 22 inches wide. And I wanted to try, I've never tried one of the dwarf varieties, so I thought I had this little area right here and wanted to try them out, and I'm loving them. The one in the back actually started blooming earlier this month. You may have caught a glimpse of it in another video, but I was really waiting for all three plants that I have here total to come into bloom so y'all could get a really good view of what they look like. And even this one in the front is kind of the last to bloom, and so it's really little. So it'll continue looking better as it fills out. In case you didn't catch my video from earlier this week, the mini plant haul, this is Blue Fortune Agastache. I'm not going to go over all the details again because it's in that video, but I will put it on the screen, and I'll stick the link here so you can watch the video if you would like. And this is Beyond Midnight Caryopteris. The bees just love this plant, y'all. And I love how the blooms are just different, the way they come in little discs around the stem, and they go not all the way up the stem, but cover about half of the plant. So we had a third of the Beyond Midnight here, and we didn't realize that our drip system had a leak in it, and this area was really getting too much water. And so we now have the blueberry plant a little bit outside of where that Caryopteris was at, but you can see this Salamandra here also was not happy with the amount of water it was getting. So hopefully we fixed that, and now it will, this area will be a little bit happy, and I'm glad that these two survived. So I'm hoping I can find a third one to replace the one that we lost. I keep telling y'all in these videos that we've had a lot of rain, and it seems like every day we're getting anywhere from 1/10 to 1/2 inch of rain, sometimes more. So the hydrangeas have taken a little bit of a hit because of that. They're a little droopy, but still blooming and looking fabulous. I cannot get over how the stems have been strong enough to hold these blooms up. This plant has been at this location only for a few months, this at the beginning of the season. The one that's a little more shade has still only been, we got both of these last year. And look how tall they have gotten. Very impressed. Incredible hydrangea. Our opening act blush phlox is starting to flush back from our Chelsea chop. And we have these wonderful, oh, I've just loved these unplugged white salvia from Proven Winners. They just keep on performing. And as I said, oh, that looks so pitiful. And of course it's getting a little bit of black spot because there's been so much like rain. And we typically here in Georgia will get some black spot, but it's worse right now than I've seen it on this particular plant. And it's just all the moisture, it's just too much. And it's all kind of laid over. Hopefully it'll look better next year. We have a couple of blooms here at the top of our clematis. Not too many, but that's not unusual. When it gets super hot, and which we're definitely on our way there, they will start to slow down their blooms. This is the powwow white coneflower. It is it's got a few issues happening. We have some powdery mildew showing up. And again, the seed heads are just so heavy on some of these plants because they're not well established, that we've had to give some support to this one. We add a little more dirt at the base because we do plant high. Just because of the amount of clay soil that we have, it doesn't drain very quickly. The Magic White Wands Veronica still have blooms on it, along with lots of pollinators. And this one penstemon, which it's not its fault, this is Blackbeard penstemon that I showed y'all before. If you can see the blooms. I cut the blooms off one of the other plants because it was laying over like this, and try to use one in a cut arrangement, which I do not recommend. It didn't hold up well. But this one's the only one. It would be in bloom, all of them, had I not cut on them, and I probably will cut this one off as well. The plant's just not mature enough to hold up the stem. After the Chelsea chop video, which I will link above, we came in and kind of select pruned on Peach Sky Yarrow. Here is already showing some blooms, very small ones. This is the Julia Child Rose. It's in a standard form. And it has some blooms there at the top. Our roses, again, will start to slow down a little bit when it gets super hot. This rose also has some special guest staying at it. I'll insert you a little picture of the sweet little birds. They actually look really big for them to be as young as they are, so I don't know how long they will stay there. The Russian sage, this is Denim and Lace Russian sage, is still in bloom. And what's great about it is it should probably make all of the videos because the calyx has kind of got this silvery gray color to it that even when it's not in bloom, it looks like it's in bloom. And the daylilies, I need to come and work on these. They've got a lot of dried up straps that need to be pulled out. So not looking quite as great as they've been looking. But the double play doozy is looking fabulous. It's put on a lot new blooms as of late. I do think I'm gonna come and probably deadhead the ones that are spent though, because they're kind of taken away from the beauty of the new ones. And this is Pugster Amethyst Butterfly Bush. Again, a little deadheading probably needs to happen. But this guy and the other ones that I have like it, they will bloom all the way through till frost pretty much. So I'll just keep on deadheading them. This one actually has some bug issue. It looks great from this angle, but if you get behind the plant, it looks pretty rough. Our Double Delight wedding gown is looking so pretty still. Like I said, I just love this lace cap bloom of this hydrangea. We actually have a little bit of growth, it looks like, as well, so that'll be fun. This is supposed to get only 2 feet tall, but like 5 feet wide. So I'm excited to see that new growth, because that's one of the things that it hasn't really done since we've owned it, but we keep moving it around. So I've always kind of said that's the reason why. But it hasn't put on much width until just now. So come on, you can do it. Here's our Incrediball that's in a little bit more shade. You can see that it is not quite as tall as the one that gets more full sun. I would say this one's probably a part sun location. This is Hot and Cold Red Hot Poker. Again, it needs probably a little bit of deadheading. Just still putting on new pokers or flowers. And the Tiger Eye coneflower is starting to look a little worse for the wear. Again, if I cleaned it up, maybe it would look a little bit better. But the petals, I don't know if that's a bug, I'm guessing, or if that's just what they look like as they're spent. They never did really get the apricot color that I was hoping they were going to turn as they age. This is the closest that I feel like has come to what the picture looks like. But the rest of them are all still very much orange. So I guess I'll be making a decision about this plant, whether to keep it or not. The Perfect Profusion Salvia's got a little bit of color on it, but not a whole lot. And here are the other butterfly bushes I have. This is Pugster Blue, and back behind it's little Lavender Candy. And the Meant to Be Queen Nectarine Agastache, or Agastachy. I think this is Double Scoop Bubblegum Coneflower. And if you saw the video, there has been some deadheading done on this plant. And it's coming back and will continue to come back. Look at all those new buds. And the Atlas Rose is still blooming. It's looking a little worse for its wear because, well, if you didn't see that short, we have Japanese beetles. And as much as I hate them, they haven't been as bad this year as they have been in the past couple of years. I knock off probably 3 or 4 a day, where I was last year probably knocking off 15 to 20 a day. So I hope you enjoyed this episode of In Full Bloom. If you enjoy seeing what all is blooming in my yard, please check out the playlist. It'll tell you what all is blooming, and we'd love to hear what's blooming in your yard. Y'all have a great day.